Good evening and thank you for staying with us right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. This is the World News at 6. My name is Esther Wachuku and here are the top stories. Federal government installs solar energy across 24 federal tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Boko Haram attacks forces army chief to relocate to Maiduguri. Defense minister replies House of Reps on sophisticated weapons to fight Boko Haram. Police arrest two high-profile international fugitives wanted in Belgium, UAE. Governor Aliya pledges plot to destabilize Benue, remove him. Tinubu's government warns journalists against giving publicity to terrorists. And Nnamdi Kanu's trial continues as court admits video evidence against IPOB leader. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The federal government has claimed that 24 federal institutions have been equipped with solar energy through the Energizing Education project initiated by President Bola Tinubu's administration. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, disclosed this on Wednesday in Abuja during the collaboration agreement signing ceremony with the vice chancellors of the participating institutions. The minister further noted that 8 additional universities have entered into collaboration agreements to participate in the 4th phase of the project. Before the signing ceremony, the minister conducted an inspection of the solar-powered facility at the University of Abuja, now known as Yakubu Gowon University. Alausa characterized the project as a new day for Nigeria and praised the transformative initiative under President Tinubu, which aims to ensure a continuous power supply to Nigeria's federal tertiary institutions. He emphasized that the projects offer significant advantages for both education and the economy. He also mentioned that the University of Abuja, which features a solar farm with 6,000 photovoltaic panels, generates approximately 3.3 megawatts of electricity daily, sufficient to provide power to the campus at all times. The minister thereby emphasized the economic ripple effect of the initiative, explaining how reliable electricity stimulates businesses within campuses. Alausa articulated that the initiative received support from the Renewable Infrastructure Fund, which Tinubu established to facilitate infrastructure development across various sectors. While onto insecurity, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyode, has relocated to Maiduguri, Benue State, alongside top military commanders to lead a strategic overhaul of ongoing counterinsurgency operations in the northeast. The relocation comes amid intensified operations targeting remnants of Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists in the Lake Chad Basin and Sambisa Forest axis as the military ramps up pressure on insurgent strongholds. Lieutenant General Oluyede has reportedly spent the past 3 days in the trenches, personally assessing the battlefield and leading a high-powered delegation under Operation Harding Kai. A top military source disclosed to Zagazola Makama that the Army Chief's presence is part of efforts to drive home the urgency of operational recalibration and ensure our troops are adequately supported in all aspects. Oluyede's itinerary includes interactive sessions with frontline commanders, members of the Theatre Command, intelligence units, and components of the Joint Task Force for real-time evaluation and strategy update. Closed-door meetings have also been held with tactical field leaders to refine combat strategies and strengthen inter-agency collaboration. Military sources say the Chief of Army Staff's presence is already boosting the morale of troops and sending a clear message of commitment to communities in the troubled region. He also disclosed that he is fully on ground and his leadership in the front is meant to inspire confidence, ensure the men, and have everything needed to win the battle against insurgency. Meanwhile, the Minister of Defense, Muhammad Abubakar Badaru, has denied the claims by the House of Representatives that terrorists have better weapons than Nigeria. Speaking today during a ministerial press briefing in Abuja, the minister maintained that Nigeria has superior weapons, drones, and manpower. He submitted that the claim by the lawmakers that terrorists carrying out attacks in the country possess superior weaponry compared to the Nigerian armed forces. You know that this statement is coming as a direct response to the House of Reps, who had claimed that criminals had better weapons compared to the country's military, even as the lawmakers lamented the recent increased attacks from Boko Haram and other insurgents in some parts of the country. However, Badari explained that Nigeria is not fighting a conventional war with the terrorists, but rather guerrilla warfare, which requires different tactical approaches. The minister also dismissed suggestions that the terrorists have acquired armed drones, clarifying that what they are using are improvised civilian drones. The minister therefore reiterated that the federal government is not resting on its oars in ensuring insecurity is defeated to the barest minimum in Nigeria. In a very recent development, however, information coming to the fore insists that the Nigerian police and Inspector General of Police has arrested 2 internationally wanted fugitives, Felix Omorege, alias Ehosa Johnson Omorege, a suspected ringleader of a human trafficking syndicate wanted by Belgian authorities, and Okudili Sebastian Ezeja, a key member of a Dubai-based armed robbery gang. This was made known in a statement today by the police force spokesperson, ACP Muyiwa Dejobi. Felix Omorege, the alleged mastermind of a large-scale human trafficking operation, had been declared wanted by the Belgian authorities through an Interpol red notice issued on the 19th of December 2023 and was arrested in Benin, Edo State, following diligent intelligence and enforcement efforts by police operatives. He is scheduled to be arraigned at the Federal High Court in Benin City. Omorege is accused of trafficking young Nigerian women, including minors, to Italy and subsequently dispersing them across Europe for the purpose of sexual exploitation. Victims were subjected to voodoo-based oath and psychological coercion, with fabricated debts ranging between £20,000 and £50,000 used to manipulate and control them. His criminal network involved handlers in Brussels and France who managed the victims' activities and remitted proceeds to him. Following a conviction in absentia in Belgium in 2021 for multiple counts of aggravated human trafficking and criminal organization leadership, Omorege fled to Nigeria. Upon his arrest, a search of his premises revealed incriminating materials, including a photocopy of a passport intended for a planned relocation to Canada. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court in Abuja today played a video recording showing the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, issuing inciting directives that the prosecution claimed triggered terrorist activities across the southeast. Now, the video footage presented by the Department of State Services, in there, Kanu was seen addressing followers from what he described as the blessed land of Biafra, announcing the formation of the Eastern Security Network and warning against Fulani domination. According to him, the tribe, no Fulani parading as headsmen shall be allowed in our land. If you are an agent of the Fulani, turn your way this evening, Kanu disclosed in the said broadcast. He also warned political leaders in the southeast to avoid compromise or face consequences. The prosecution's second witness, codenamed BBB, testified that Kanu's speeches led to coordinated attacks on police stations, correctional facilities, public institutions, which resulted in fatalities and properties destruction. The witness, led in evidence by Chief Adeboyega Awomolo, told the court that the video and Kanu's other public broadcast directly incited IPOP supporters to engage in violent actions. The court admitted the video clip, stored on a flash drive along with a certificate of compliance as exhibits PWA and PW1 respectively, overruling objections from Kanu's defense team. Also tendered and admitted as evidence was a letter dated June 17, 2021 from former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, addressed to the DSS. The letter accused Kanu of terrorism, incitement, ordering violent acts against security operatives. Justice James Omotosho also admitted a statement dated July 17, 2021, purportedly made by Kanu while in custody, where he declined to make further statements, saying he had already addressed the allegations. The courtroom session was conducted under tight security, with only accredited lawyers and observers allowed access. The trial is expected to continue with more witnesses from the prosecution in the coming days. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, more news, and we head into a news analysis segment. Do kindly stay with us. Welcome back. You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. In more news reports, the Benue State Governor, Hyacinth Aliyah, has accused certain individuals of masterminding a plot to destabilize the state in order to remove him from office. The governor made the allegation during a press briefing in Makurdi, which was addressed by his Chief Press Secretary, Teso Kula, today. Governor Aliyah claimed that part of the plot involves an orchestrated campaign of misinformation and the sponsorship of protests to discredit his administration. He emphasized that these demonstrations were not genuine expressions of public dissatisfaction, but rather attempts by disgruntled elements to settle the personal scores and advance a malicious agenda. He added that the individuals were driven by a desire to paint Benue in the worst possible light and believed they could manipulate President Bola Tinubu into declaring a state of emergency in the state. Governor Aliyah described the actions of these elements as a misguided effort to create an atmosphere of chaos and instability. According to him, their ultimate goal was to exploit the situation for personal gain while resisting positive changes in the state. Well, the Labour Party has indefinitely suspended 6 top members, including the Abia State Governor Alex Otti. In a statement signed by National Secretary Umar Farouk Ibrahim, the party said the suspension follows the recommendations of a 5-member disciplinary committee set up on May 2, 2025. Meanwhile, the Nnamdi Usman, also National Caretaker Committee of the Labour Party, recently today, based on the crisis going on, constituted a special investigative panel headed by Ireti Kingibe to investigate Julius Abure, the erstwhile national chairman, on alleged party activities and misappropriation of party funds. In the meantime, the chairman of the party's Caretaker Committee, Nnamdi Usman, while addressing a world press conference in Abuja today, said the committee headed by Ireti Kingibe, the senator representing the Federal Capital Territory as chairman, with Peter as secretary, has 3 weeks within which to submit its reports. The terms of reference include, amongst others, examination of all allegations leveled against Abure, including alleged anti-party activities, misappropriation of party funds. The panel is also expected to recommend appropriate sanctions to be given to the erstwhile chairman. Mr. Peter Anosike is my analyst this evening on the World News at 6. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you very much. Let's go straight to the conversation or some of the stories read out on the World News at 6. For example, the Minister of Defense has said that the Nigerian military has more weapons than Boko Haram. But we heard yesterday in the House of Reps when the lawmakers, it was a chaotic experience and they were giving empathic detailed situations of the attack of Boko Haram on their constituents, where they said that Boko Haram and ISWAP actually killed their members with weaponized drones. And now the Minister of Defense is saying that's not the case. So if that's not the case, why did the Chief of Army Staff, why has he relocated to Maiduguri, the northeast, to be in the front line of the war against Boko Haram and ISWAP?
Well, the Defense Minister, Badaru, is in Abuja. He's in Abuja, so he's not an eyewitness person, understand? So it is those on ground that should say what is actually happening. Okay. So this Boko Haram war has been there since 2009.
Okay.
When Yusuf was killed. If Nigerian army has superior weapons, why have they not defeated them since then? If the Nigerian army has superior weapons, why have they not defeated the Boko Haram since 2009 up to today? That is number one. Number two, if the Nigerian army has superior weapons, there's no way the Boko Haram will have that courage to go and attack an army barracks.
Okay.
And soldiers will run into the bush. There's no way Boko Haram will go and attack an army barrack and soldiers will run into the bush. Soldiers are running because they know that their weapons are inferior to that of the Boko Haram. Do you know that I have never seen any Nigerian policeman carrying a new AK-47? I have seen many of them using a rope to tie their guns. I have seen many Nigerian soldiers, many Nigerian policemen using rope, using rubber band to tie their guns. So the issue here is a result. Whether inferior weapon or superior weapons, as we speak, Boko Haram is winning this war. That's why the chief of army staff has to relocate to Borno State. And mind you, this is not all the first time this is happening. When the late chief of army staff was alive, he also went there. At the end of the day, what happened? So if Boko Haram and ISWAP are using sticks, stones, or even cutlass, the issue is that Nigeria army has not been able to defeat them for more than a decade now.
Okay.
So we should be talking about output. Right. Understand me? So as we speak, Boko Haram is winning this war. If not, why should the chief of army staff relocate there? Exactly. Because he wants to go there to inspire them, to motivate them, because he knows that they are failing.
Okay.
So for me, the rest member is representing his people, and his people must have told them what they are seeing.
Okay. Now let's look at still on insecurity. Governor Aliya is saying that there are some certain elements in his state who want to sponsor a planned protest to remove him, and that they are spreading misinformation so that a state of emergency will be declared. I remember on several occasions especially with the Uromi killings, or for example what happened in Edo State and the swift reaction. In Benue State, it's they're going through what you call an existential crisis. The last time he wanted to come visit a scene where some community members were slaughtered by some supposed unknown persons, I remember that while he tried to pass, the community members barricaded him and said we no go gree. Now Governor Aliya had at the time said that they are working with the federal government security agencies to have a strategy in synergizing to tackle the spate of insecurity. He was waiting for the federal government while his people were being slaughtered. Is he saying that in actual reality the case of killings going on in the state is untrue, or that some persons were deliberately misinforming the public to remove him? Is he more concerned about his appointment as a governor of the state, or about the well-being of the people in his state? Which should he actually take as a priority to address?
For me, the governor is not serious. The governor is not serious. What is happening in Benue is what is happening in Plateau State. Foreigners, I don't mean people outside Nigeria.
Okay.
But people from outside Benue are coming there to take their lands. External
local elements.
Understand me? They are coming there to take their lands. The governor knows what is happening. Agatu has not been rebuilt up to today. If you go there, it is still that you see a whole village. Nobody is living there as we speak. Over 30% of the Benue population are in ID camps.
Exactly.
Over 30%. So the governor is playing politics
with the life of his
instead
people?
of facing the fact.
Is he more concerned about his second term ambition rather than focusing on the reality of the current state existential crisis? He
doesn't want to look bad. That's for the Fulanis.
Are you serious?
He doesn't want to look bad for the.
He wants them. What are they? The majority of his population in the state?
They don't even have up to 1%, but they are the power brokers in this country. It is them that determines who gets what.
Interesting.
That's what is happening even in Enugu State. No governor wants to look bad. That's in front of
these guys.
Sure.
Wow. That will be quite unfortunate if he doesn't take a decisive action in ensuring that his people are safe. He's looking at if he's considering the second term of his administration. Let's move on to Nnamdi Kanu's trial. I know the case is still ongoing, so there's really nothing much to say. But the thing is the fact that according to the documents presented by the court, the video footage presented by the court where they played it live in the court today, they said that Nnamdi Kanu issued inciting directives that the prosecution claimed triggered terrorist activities across the southeast. For example, they played it where Nnamdi Kanu said the blessed land of Biafra, announcing the formation of the ESN, Eastern Security Network, and warning against Fulani domination. That he says no Fulani parading as headsman shall be allowed in our land. If you're an agent of the Fulani, turn your way this evening. That was what was said in the broadcast. He also warned political leaders, that was the governors of the state and other political elements in the state, to avoid a compromise or face consequences. Do you think that one of the reasons why he is actually being subjugated is because they felt the establishment establishment of the Eastern Security Network was not in connection or permission of the state government at the time. It almost felt like people were more afraid of him than possibly the state governor.
Well, for me, I heard those announcements, but it never made me to go and carry gun. It never made me to go and kill anybody. I heard it as every other Nigerian. So they have to bring people who will say that it is Kanu's advice that made them to become terrorists, that made them to become bandits. They must bring those people who will come and say that it is what Kanu said.
That's what the witness, the prosecuting witness, and he's a DSS agent of over 20 years in service. That's what he claimed.
I heard that announcement, but it never made me to go and kill anybody. It never made me to go and carry gun. So the DSS should go and bring people who will say that it is what Kanu told them or what Kanu said on air that made them to go and kill people.
So, Ms. Onosuke, this has stirred conversation on X, on several platforms. Spaces have been held, and even some Nigerians in diaspora have been analyzing the whole situation. Some say that it was a big mistake that was carried out. He shouldn't have made that statement. It's a strong indictment. It
which strong indictment?
It may actually affect, whatever the
prosecution
of the case.
If you are a Fulani agent, turn back and go. That any leader in the South that compromise should face consequences. I've been saying this over the years, and I keep on saying it. When you betray your people, there must be consequences. When you betray your people, there must be consequences. So I don't see anything that's inciting in that statement.
So in other words, you're saying that his statement, whoever had worked on his statement by saying that, whatever it is he said incited and made people do certain things.
They should bring that person. Let that person say it is what Nnamdi Kanu said on air. That made him to go and carry gun and begin to kill people.
Now, these video clips were admitted by the court, and they stored it on a flash drive along with a certificate of compliance as exhibits PWA, that is prosecuting witness A and prosecuting witness 1, respectively. And the defense counsel tried to object that motion for them to drop that, but the court admitted it, and they also admitted and tendered evidence as a letter in June 17, 2021 from the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami,
acting on one of the haters, acting under the instruction of Muhammadu Buhari. Understand me? So for me, the case is going on well. The case is going on very, very well.
So people have said that most of the things he said at the time, through which the prosecuting counsel and the DSS witness, who obviously said that some of the statements made incited certain persons, that some of the things he said is basically what's actually happening now. Some elements from a certain ethnic extraction have been mutilating, killing and taking over persons and their communities and their families.
Over the countries. Over the countries.
So that now the question that came to mind was, if this was basically what the message was, arm yourself, protect yourself, see what you can do about it to ensure that you are not decimated. How is that a terrorist-related conversation or broadcast?
Even the DSS is calling for self-defense.
Yes, recently.
Understand me? The DSS is calling for self-defense. So I stand with Nnamdi Kanu on that thing that he said. I stand 100% with him.
Anytime he's to appear in court, there's this heavy security presence, there's tight security, and it's only very certain selected persons that can be in court. You cannot make any recording based on, you saw what happened to the sister-in-law yesterday. She was walked out of
the sister was wrong. You don't stream, you don't record, you don't answer calls inside court.
Yeah, but
so Omotosho was right. That's on what he said.
But the thing now is the fact that heavy security presence, a couple of persons have said that it's taking a toll on taxpayers' monies, because for them to come there, they pay heavily for his protection.
Some people are making millions any day that Nnamdi Kanu comes to court. They said that every day Nnamdi Kanu comes to court, 500 million is spent. Every day that Nnamdi Kanu comes to court, so some people will become billionaires before this case comes to an end. So that's why they want a continuous adjournment, so that money would be.
You think so? Well, you can see how that the fact that Justice Omotosho wants this sporadically or accelerated, it's been every day. He's also going to come to court tomorrow, May 8th. So, like you said, the trial is going properly. But the question is, when will the defense counsel have time to cross-examine?
There will be cross-examination. There will be cross-examination.
And will they be able to present their own witnesses
and
as well?
the DSS, who said that it is what Nnamdi Kanu said, that's caused killings. He will go and bring those people.
Okay.
Who will come and confirm, yes, it is what Nnamdi Kanu said, that turned him into a terrorist or an unknown gunman. Sure.
All right. Meanwhile, the federal government has urged media practitioners and professionals to avoid providing excessive attention to terrorists, bandits, and other criminal elements that threaten the nation's peace and security. This was a statement made during the 7th edition of the 2025 Ministerial Press Briefing today in Abuja. The Minister of Information and Orientation, Mohammed Idris, highlighted the vital role of the media in influencing public perception and to bolster the national security initiatives, and that it is essential for media partners to encourage nation building and play a significant role in uplifting our military spirit. Are they saying that whenever there are attacks in certain communities, whenever terrorists invade certain areas or certain localities, that the media should not give any reference to it? They shouldn't say anything, they shouldn't pay any attention to it, they should keep mum?
Journalists are called what? Reporters.
Okay.
They are called reporters, so they report what happened. Understand me? And when you tell them not to report, you are telling them not to do their job.
Okay.
Al Jazeera reports Gaza every day. CNN reports Gaza every day. So they must keep on reporting. If you don't want them to report, stop the war, stop the killing, period.
So is it that we should keep silent about it? Is that the best way to go about it? Keep silent about it? Is that what they want? Because from what they're saying now, they feel we're giving these people excessive attention. So when we don't talk about it, possibly they wouldn't feel important because they think we're covering their activities and we're making them popular.
I say if they don't want journalists to be reporting, then they should stop what is happening. Understand me? They should stop what is happening. Journalists must report what they see.
All right. Mr. Peter Anosuke, thank you so much for taking your time and giving us your insights on some of the stories read out on the World News at 6. We sincerely do appreciate your input.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. To wrap up here again, once again are the top stories. The federal government has installed solar energy across 24 federal tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Boko Haram attacks forces army chief to relocate to Maiduguri. Defense minister replies House of Reps and sophisticated weapons to fight Boko Haram. Police arrest 2 high-profile international fugitives wanted in Belgium, UAE. Governor Aliya alleges plot to destabilize Benue, remove him. And Tinubu's government warns journalists against giving publicity to terrorists. That's a wrap on the World News at 6. My name is Esther Wachuku. Good evening and thank you for listening. Up next is Born to Live. Just stay with us.